Hi, this is Jim Brandt with Best Practical, and one of the changes that we made in RT44 is that the assets functionality, which was previously available in an extension, is now standard. So all RT44 installs will have assets available. If you're not familiar with assets or asset tracking, basically what it is keeping track of all the things that often IT departments have to keep track of. So laptops, printers, all of the things that are in the office that you want to know how old they are, when they were acquired, maybe what the support situation is. And there are also things that users can often submit a ticket to get some sort of service on. You know, maybe they want more memory or a printer's out of ink or something like that. So that's why we developed the assets extension. It was a common use case that we got from users, and now it's standard. So let's get started with a quick demo. So you can see on the screen here we have an RT running, and you can see there's now an assets menu up here. Now if you haven't used assets, when you upgrade, users won't automatically see that. You do need to have some permissions set. So if you log in as the root user, you will see it because obviously the root user has all permissions, but your other users won't see that menu until you start giving out permissions and decide that you do want to start using it. So let's see, let's take a quick look at an asset. So if we just click actually on the assets right at the top, we get the asset search page. And if I just search, just open with no search criteria, I'll get all of the assets. So you can see we have a few set up in the system here. So if I just click on one of those, you'll see that the asset screen looks similar to a ticket screen if you're familiar with RT. Many of the portlets are similar. You have the basics, which is all the core information. You see up here that this is a catalog. So catalogs are very similar to queues. They're basically groupings of different assets, and that allows you to have multiple different groupings in your system if you want. Some other descriptive information, including status. So much like tickets, assets can have statuses, different things that they move through in their life cycle while you have an asset in your system. We have people. So these are all the different people who might have a touch point with that asset. You can see these are a little bit different from tickets in the sense that an asset, like a laptop or something, may have a few different relationships, right? You can have the owner, and that might be someone in the department. And then we have a different one held by. So the laptop often will be given to somebody, and that's who actually uses it day to day. And then you might have a different contact person. So maybe there's somebody who does IT support for maybe a particular department. So that could actually be a different person from the person who has the laptop. But of course, this is all flexible as well and can be configured. Different dates, so when the asset was acquired, links, and we'll see later in the demo how you can link off to tickets so that when there's work that you need to have done on an asset, it all kind of hangs together very nicely. And you can see that this one actually already has a link to a ticket on it. And then really, the guts of what is really valuable about the asset extension, now part of RT44, is all the different custom fields that you can put on these assets. So whatever your system is and whatever information you need to track for your assets can all be tracked right there in RT using these custom fields. And you can set up as many as you want, and they can be all sorts of different types of fields. So this is really where you can start to store all the information that you want to keep on the different assets that you're responsible for in your system. And much like tickets, all of the history associated with the asset is tracked as well. So all the different changes, things that have happened with that asset over time is always available on that asset record. So let's go in real quick and create an asset. And you can see it pops up, a little bit different experience, and lets you select which catalog it is that you want to create that asset in. So we'll just go with the default. And so in the IT department assets. So again, much like a ticket create screen, we just go through and fill out all the fields. So say it's a new printer that we got. You can start typing in some of the information. In this case, we'll leave the status new. And maybe the owner is the asset staff user. No links right now. And then this is where you'd go in, and if you actually had the printer sitting there on the desk, you can go through and start to put in some of the information about that particular printer. So say it's an HP. We won't set that one. And then this would, the actual model. whatever that would be, again, right off the printer itself or off the box. Now, this tracking number here is just an example of how you may have a different internal system that keeps track of your assets, and this allows you to put those numbers in that might be your internal numbers because they're going to be different from the asset ID that RT issues. That asset ID is just for RT to keep track of it, but this is the type of information you might want to track back to maybe your accounting system or something like that. So again, these are all customizable, these custom fields, but that's what that one represents. We have a printer on this one, and then say we know that the support is for maybe, we'll just say a year. So we can set that in for a year. So there we go. Now I've created the asset, and now it's tracked in the system. Now, one of the things to know as well is if you've got like a new printer, you might actually go through and do it this way, but there are other ways to import asset data as well. Maybe you already have a system, maybe you're tracking it in a spreadsheet or something like that. We do have importers that allow you to quickly pull in data from different systems, or maybe you already have an existing system and you just want to populate RT just to get started. So there's a CSV importer that if you can export from whatever system you have, or if you have a spreadsheet or something like that, you can very quickly get all of your assets loaded into the system. So that's really handy. There's a few other portlets as well that you can add if you want to customize your dashboard and some of the other areas of RT where you can start to work with assets if you're going to start using it. So just something simple like find an asset search box. So if we type in printer, again, we see our new printers there, and then there was one that was in there previously. There are also some options you can see just on the search page here to do bulk updates. So maybe if you have, if you get in a whole bunch of laptops and you do a bunch of work on them, and then you want to go in and bulk, say, okay, they've all been given out, you can go in and just flip all those statuses all at once. And then there's also ways to get data out of the system as well. So you can do a download and pull out data if you need to sync that up with some other system that you have. So let's go ahead and open a ticket with one of these. Let's pick the new one that we have. So say it's a printer, so a request comes in and someone says, hey, the toner's low on the printer, right? We need to order some ink. So you can see in the actions menu, there's a couple of different actions up here, a little bit different from a ticket. And you can see one of them is create linked ticket. Now, all of these actions are completely configurable. So Assets uses the lifecycle functionality that was built into RT for tickets. So that means it can be completely customized for whatever your asset lifecycle is. So maybe they come in and then they're in use, and maybe they come back for service at times, and then eventually maybe they go on and they get recycled. You can set that up so that the actions that are available at any given time exactly fit what your workflow is. So completely configurable. So let's go ahead and create a linked ticket, and then we can pick the queue that we want that to go in. We just have support in this one. And then you can actually select the user that you want to be the requester. So this is nice if you happen to be the IT support person and you're creating the ticket on behalf of someone. So you actually want them to be the requester, because then they'll get the updates. Maybe they called in and said, you know, the toner's low. You want to put them on as the requester. If they're on the ticket, you can do that as well. So some conveniences there. So we pop up, and now you can see the familiar ticket creation page. So we can do that, and can customize that subject and make it a little clearer. So create that ticket, and now when we go to this ticket, you see that the assets portlet is now available here as well. So we pull in some of the metadata so you can quickly see what that asset is. And then when you go ahead and get this toner, maybe you need to get information like what is the model, because you want to make sure that you get the right toner. You can pop over to the asset record and see the model number right there. So again, you don't have to run off, maybe go over to the part of the building that's where the East printer is and actually get all that information off of it. If you tracked it when the asset was created, you have it right there. So that is just a quick run through of some of the assets functionality. There's a whole bunch more. So if you're interested in doing some kind of asset tracking, we hope you take some time and check it out. Thanks.